Hello, welcome back to God Lives Within. Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. Taking a look today at the police state we currently live in. Who's behind it? Who is destroying America from within? Now, this agency we coin as Clowns in America. Just, if you don't know who it is, use the first three letters of each word. The Alphabet Gang, the biggest crime racket that has ever lived, that sits quietly behind the scenes and destroys America from within. This is the true mafia, the organized mafia. These are the beings that show up at every mass shooting. If you do your research, you'll see the same faces arriving on the scenes of these mass shootings. They're not going to be in the news. You're going to have to dig, you're going to have to look at their faces, and you'll start seeing the same ones show up at all of these mass shootings. So right now, I want to take you back to a time when our favorite president was shot in Dallas, Texas, and who was the director of the Clowns in America at the time. One of your worst presidents of all time. He's dead now. He was executed a few years back for crimes against humanity. One of the worst human beings that has ever walked the face of the earth. And I'm not afraid to say it. So while he says on that day in Dallas, Texas, that our favorite president was shot, he says he was not in Dallas at the time, but there are pictures that tell a different story. He was in Dallas at the time. And so you ask, who murdered our favorite president? This man did it. Mr. H.W. Mr. War in Iraq. Mr. Weapons of Mass Destruction. Mr. War in Kuwait. Mr. War-mongering piece of... Trying not to cuss, people. I'm sorry. Same man who started the war on drugs. A war against his own citizens. Americans on the streets with no hope that turned to drugs. You then turn your war against them. Now, when you do your research, you also find this is the same agency that's been bringing the drugs across the border. The same thugs, the same mafia that are partnered up with the cartels. You wonder why nothing's ever done to the cartels? You wonder why they only have low-level busts in the newspapers and occasionally take out one of the big dogs just to appease you, just to make you happy, to think something is finally going to happen? This is why. Because your leaders, the ones at the top, they're the ones bringing the drugs across the border. If they didn't want drugs to come into this country, drugs would not come into this country. They have the power to stop it. But that would mean some of their profits would go away. Their deals that they've made with these cartels would stop. enriching their pockets. Now this same agency is the one who was flying planes into Arkansas through another president. And the next HW, he is probably the next HW and W is the next worst president there ever was. Mr. William, piece of crap. I did not inhale. This is how the drugs got across the border. And then you turn around and wage a war on the street people using drugs. You are the worst of the worst. HW, I'm glad you're in hell. You should be in jail for as long as they could have kept you alive and then gone to hell. But oh well, hell is better for me. So this video is to bring a light, to bring awareness to the evil that lies within our own borders, to an agency that is not government funded, at least not on the books. It is black budgeted funded. They funnel money to them for what they call black ops, for what they call the black budget, and secret government programs. These are the enemies of the people. The time has come to shut these agencies down. The time has come for the people to rise up and to say no more. We don't want your drugs in our country. We don't want you as leaders. The time has come to bring the house down, the house of cards. That is the government. And so you'll notice what's always coming out of the politician's mouth. War, 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 war. And even if they're not telling you about it, they're doing it behind the scenes. So right now we're involved in two conflicts, neither of which are helping Americans, neither of which are progressing society, all of which are enriching the elites, all of which are raping other countries, killing innocent people, destroying their resources, stealing their resources, ultimately are all about money, making the elite more elite, making the powerful more powerful. The time to wake up is now, America. We need to band together. We need to start marching. You see it in Europe. Their people are marching. They don't have guns. They don't have a way to protect themselves, and they're out marching. And what are Americans doing? We're sitting around eating more, waiting for something to happen, allowing this carnage, this destruction, this rape and pillage to continue. What was the first act our new beloved speaker put on the floor? Send more money to Ukraine. More war. This is all the politicians do. This is all they think about. If they didn't have war, they wouldn't know what to do. So this video is short. I'm done. It's just to bring awareness. And that three-headed line of scumbag presidents, one of which just threw out the first pitch at the World Series first game. who was responsible of waging war on you again on September 11th, 2001. The man who was reading a book to school children with the book upside down during a time when our country was being decimated. One of our best cities was being destroyed, and the people, thousands, were being murdered, all for a Satanist agenda. The masses are waking up, you pathetic demons. The majority know what you've done, what your dad did, and what Mr. Willie Billy Clinton did. We're aware, we're awake. My advice is for people to wake up, band together at the local level, because the time is running out. The time for Babylon to be destroyed is drawing near. God's just waiting on Satan's next move, and that's it. The time to turn off the news and organize and prepare is here. The angel of death is approaching. He's already made his rounds to some, and he will continue until the work is done. God is not playing anymore. So I suggest, America, you wake up. I love you. God loves you more.